Last week, I read a nanosecond of genius. Now, Todd Baldwin has a lot of moments of genius, but this was just a sentence in the middle of a paragraph. And so I ran with it because this sentence resonated. Now, I hadn't heard it phrased this way before, but it really made sense. He said, "There are no secrets for the rich. What there are financial truths that the poor and middle class refuse to believe." So I made a short. I'm making a video on my channel where I really go into detail on what these are.
Wow.
So Zuber and I today are going to talk about there aren't secrets for the rich. The rich people are screaming from the mountaintops. Here's what I did. Here's how I did it. There are YouTube channels and people who reached financial freedom saying, here's the step-by-step process to get where we are. And so on my short, somebody asked a very smart question. There were some haters. But there was one who actually asked, okay, I'll bite. What is it that we refuse to believe? So let's go over a list back and forth on financial truths that poor and middle class refuse to believe, and I think are actually keeping them poor and middle class.
All right. Wow, this is going to be fun to talk about. So doing this in real time, right? It's really funny for 90% of my life. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. So I really see my life as three chunks. For the first 30 years, we were lower middle class or poor. My father was unemployed for 18 months. My mom was a stay-at-home. I fed the family as a teenager. Poor, not Dion poor. Dion's next level poor, but I would say poor, lower middle class. Then at 30, I start making decent income. I start living below my means. I start having an emergency fund, all these things. So I would say definitely middle class. Then over the years, one rental at a time happens. And yes, as uncomfortable it is for me to say, you probably can say that I'm rich now. But the biggest one for me that I see, having now been trying to help people for 20 years, is they always try to time the market. It's time in the market. When Olivia and I started investing in Fresno, California in 2001, there was about a dozen other Silicon Valley people that I network with that also started investing in Fresno right around the same time. They bought the same type of house. I call it Norris Drive. If you read my book, that was the first one. But they bought similar ones. But what happened over the years is they made financial decisions. They increased their, instead of doing a cash out refi to buy more properties or 1031 to get bigger like Olivia and I did, they increased their lifestyle, which forced them to bust out in the Great Recession. The reason Olivia and I are where we are now is we've been in the game for 15 years, now 22 years or whatever it's been. So time in the market matters. If you're trying to time the market, even if you get right once or twice, you're eventually going to stay at the casino one step too far and you're going to bust out. Time in the market matters, but nobody wants to hear it. They all want to get rich quick. They all want the meme coin or meme stock to go from a penny to this and they're going to retire millionaires. No, you're not. You're going to stay at the blackjack table one more hand and bust out.